So, months after the infamous Oscar slap, Will Smith has finally come out to publicly apologize to Chris Rock. Let's check it out. It's been a minute. Over the last few months, I've been doing a lot of thinking and positive work, personal work.
Mm-hmm.
You asked a lot of fair questions that I want to take some time to answer.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
So, obviously, this is a terrible scenario. With Chris Rock not wanting to reach out, I mean, I completely understand that because I have seen so many parodies, cartoons, like anime, graffiti in different countries of Chris Rock being slapped on stage. This has impacted him in a major way, maybe even just as bad as Will, because now he's the one that got slapped. It's his pride as a man, to some extent, was in question or took a hit or whatever. So I mean, I completely understand that. It does suck that Will took so long to apologize. With everything he's had going on over the last few years, I mean, it's obvious that he is in sort of just a messed up state of mind, and this is something that's been brewing for a while. So let's keep watching.
I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. We had a great relationship. Tony Rock was my man. And this is probably irreparable.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video of Tony Rock, he went on stage and he is clearly no fan of Will Smith at this point. He's kind of in the mindset of what a family member would do if something happened to their brother or sister or whatever. Like, that's where Tony Rock's mindset is at. So it's difficult to see, like, even if Chris forgave him and gave the call or whatever for his people to let it go, it's difficult to see Tony Rock ever being cool with Will again, because that is just a terrible scenario to go through as the person that got slapped, as well as the people closest to them. So
I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe.
So personally, I do believe that Jada played a role. Now, maybe not in that exact moment. Maybe she didn't say something to him, or say sick him, or anything like that, or go get him, or whatever. But I think all of the chaos that has been going on in the media has been because of the direction that Jada has decided to go in, with like putting the business out there and saying all types of stuff. And I guess you could say that the unhealed trauma that she's leading from, basically. But if you watch the video, and this is just giving them the benefit of the doubt, if you watch the video where the camera angle is basically like behind Will and Jada, you can see Jada laughing after Will slapped Chris. But once Will was talking about, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, her body language suggested that she didn't see that coming, right? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe she was genuinely surprised. So I don't believe that she told him anything. This is something that he decided to do based on his trauma, and based on his trauma and her trauma and their interactions with each other, which I'm gonna do like another video about. I think I'm probably gonna put it out Wednesday. But yeah, let's keep going.
And say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me, and it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. It happened on Questlove's award, and it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before?
So prior to going to the next question, I want to jump in on that one. That particular Oscars night was a black powerhouse, to say the least. There were so many black creators and performers that were being appreciated on that particular night. Some people got their first Oscar. Questlove was doing his thing. The Oscars was ran by a black director. So that slap did much more than just hurt Chris Rock and his family. I mean, it impacted black culture to some extent. So, man, a freaking slap. It's crazy, but one slap is just, I don't know.
What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself.
So that's a part that I really want to pause on, because I've seen some people react to it a certain way, like that last part where he says, I'm trying to be remorseful, something like that. Like, I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself. My guess is that initially, well, not like initially because he was in a daze, but once it hit him about like how or how much of an impact that had, he had to have been ashamed to some extent. And he mentions the trauma that he went through, or his central trauma. I mean, he mentions his central trauma, in that it's basically disappointing people. So with that being on center stage, in a way, that's kind of been in center stage in his life, but now it's in his public life. So it's like it was there in his private life, but now it's there in his public life. With that being his central trauma, it's sort of a repeated posture or pattern that can lead to very destructive kinds of thoughts. So basically, remaining in that ashamed state for too long can end up being crazy destructive, right? And just looking at him now, you can tell that spiritually he's like shook, basically. It's difficult to see him performing in film and being able to even give his all. So trying to be remorseful and not feel ashamed at this point, it's sort of I get it from a psychological trying not to destroy myself standpoint. A lot of people don't care about that. I get it, because he hurt a lot of people, not just Chris. But from a psychological standpoint, from a not trying to sink into my own despair standpoint, I get why he is at this point trying not to sink into that particular feeling. So I just wanted to go into detail with that.
All right, I'm human, and I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
So that was Will Smith apologizing, I believe for the first time on video. I think he may have made a post where he apologized, but I don't think it was like officially to Chris until, I don't know. Anyway, that was Will Smith apologizing to Chris Rock. He said a lot of different things in there that, I mean, at the end of the day, he's human, right? He is a human being that made a terrible mistake that has cost him so much, and I don't know if it can ever really go back to what it was. I don't think that's possible. That slap has become a thing, you know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. It's a part of his legacy now. A part of me is bothered that he didn't bring up Jada beforehand, but at the same time, I feel like this video wasn't about her. This video was about his remorse. him basically formally apologizing to Chris Rock, his fans, his supporters, Chris Rock's family, his family, right? That's what this video was about. It wasn't supposed to be about a breakdown of how we got here, right? And I honestly question if he is fully acknowledging everything that led to that point. Because that type of behavior or that dark emotion, you know, anger, hate, whatever, yeah, it doesn't come from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And maybe there was an element of disappointment in there, but there's more to it. And sometimes our trauma can be kind of compounded. So I don't know. I feel like I don't know. There's more to it. I'm gonna do another video Wednesday. I'm gonna put it out Wednesday, and it's gonna go into greater detail of my view of this whole situation and other stuff too. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. I might kind of tease it on Tuesday with a particular video, although people may not know that it's a tease. It's gonna be kind of, I don't know, not directly tied to them, but once I start to talk about it, and if you see the previous video, you'll get what I'm saying. So yeah, if you enjoy the content, feel free to express yourself by the many means available on this page. Yeah, if you agree, disagree, if I'm wrong, feel free to express yourself. You know, all that other good stuff. All right, have a good one.